Test, Test, Test. Um 17:30 Uhr geht es los.
Okay, very good evening to everyone. We are almost ready to start. We will take 1 or 2 more minutes, so everybody who's here on site, please take a seat. Okay, dear ladies and gentlemen, here on site in Stuttgart, please take a seat. We will start with the official program pretty soon. So, okay, everybody is taking a seat. Okay, so welcome and very good evening to the Network-Accelerator Demo Day 2023. My name is Patrick and I will guide you through today's evening. We are broadcasting live today from the Carola Daimler Cars in Stuttgart, named after the great-granddaughter of Gottlieb Daimler. Usually, it's the home and a garage for old-timers, unique old-timers. But for one day, we turned it into a garage for AI and unique startups. In the name of the KI-Garage team, I want to welcome everyone here on site and also online who's following us via the live stream on YouTube. Today, we will see some of the most promising early-stage AI startups from Baden-Württemberg. But not only that. We will start with a warm welcome by the program owner of the KI-Garage, the Baden-Württemberg Stiftung, represented by Dr. Andreas Weber. After that, we will look back. We will look back at the roller coaster that all of our teams took over the past 3.5 months until they came to this special day, the Demo Day. And then it's time for the main act, because 10 selected teams will pitch, will show their progress, what they've made, and also will show the status quo. And at the end of the day, there will be 3 winners in the evening who can win cash, but also pride that they won at the program that was initially initiated to merge the world-class AI expertise in Baden-Württemberg with entrepreneurship. All to transfer the academia into scalable businesses and to establish a flourishing AI ecosystem. To address this big mission, leading institutions from Baden-Württemberg, from Heidelberg, Mannheim, and Karlsruhe joined forces. But all of it wouldn't have been possible without the Baden-Württemberg Stiftung, Dr. Andreas Weber, and his team. And I'm very honored that he's personally here today and that he's opening up this wonderful evening with his some welcoming words. Dr. Andreas Weber, please come on stage. A big applause for him, please.
Thank you, Patrick. Dear ladies and gentlemen, dear coaches, dear finalists, dear online participants, and dear guests in Stuttgart, and especially dear jury, dear I name it personally, dear Ms. Stalinsky, Ms. Kan, Ms. Apachit, and Mr. Teubert. I welcome you very heartily here in the Carola Daimler Cars for the demo day. My name is, as mentioned, Andreas Weber, and I'm head of the education department of the Baden-Württemberg Stiftung. On behalf of the foundation, I welcome you warmly to the demo day. With our program, we want to strengthen the future of viability of Baden-Württemberg. The KI-Garage supports startups from Baden-Württemberg by realizing their ideas in the field of AI and developing them into effective business models. Afterwards, we want to connect these innovative models with the business sector. Our vision is to grow a huge AI network that consists of relevant players from the AI sector in Baden-Württemberg and beyond, a vibrant network which is continuously expanding. At the same time, we aim to raise the public awareness on the topic of artificial intelligence. Our goal is to close the gap between research and the implementation of products by educating and qualifying startups through specific training sessions to facilitate the emergence of real businesses. To ensure a sustainable growth of the most promising ideas, the KI-Garage connects these innovative startups with local companies. We are very proud that we have assembled so many great startups in Baden-Württemberg, which have already achieved several successes. 10 startup teams from the last Netzwerk-Accelerator of the KI-Garage have received startup or follow-up funding, and I mention only 3. Visual Abstract from Mannheim was able to increase the number of employees from 3 to over 20. Hydrop Water Systems was awarded BW KI Champion 2022. Syntavo from Heidelberg, our last year's winner, managed to win several B2B customers and now generates a 5-digit turnover. Congratulations on these achievements. Therefore, we are very happy to announce the second run of our program today. 10 remaining teams have shown immense amount of courage, tackled many challenges and worked hard to improve their business ideas. Now we want to honor their continuous efforts and endurance of the past 3 months. I wish the finalists all the best for their pitches as well as for their future journey. I am very confident that not only the state of Baden-Württemberg but also Germany will benefit from their AI developments and startups. Thank you for your attention, and the stage is open for the finalists. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Andreas Weber from the whole KI-Garage team. Mr. Weber already talked about the startups, and I want to shift the focus towards them. Almost every startup who we will see today started quite early. Some of them have done years of research to build the technology. Some of them had already a vague idea about the business, a business model maybe, or even a prototype. But all of them needed some kind of assistance to make the next big step. So let's have a look what our teams have gone through. We started last year in October in Heidelberg with our kickoff bootcamp. It was the first time where our startups met the dedicated startup business coaches and where they worked on the business model. And at the end, after a long, long day, we went on a party boat ride. We worked hard and played hard, but you know that Whatever happens on a party boat stays on a party boat, so unfortunately, I don't have pictures for you. The weeks after were filled with weekly workshops, and throughout the whole journey, every startup had a dedicated startup coach, but also an AI mentor to work on both areas, business and AI. These 6 business workshops included, for example, a workshop with Dima Sade from Estonia, where he taught and talked about business models, and where he also shared strategies on how to get early on market feedback to build the right product. Then we had Lily Misani with us. She's a smiling face, a power woman. And she did a workshop on sales to teach the startups how important it is to sell and also how to make cold calls. At the end of the workshops, every startup had to do, some of them the first time, the cold calls in a Zoom call directly. In the AI workshops, we learned from Fabian Müller from Statworks on how to build a robust and scalable AI model from day one. We also learned how to gather the right data for it. And from Corbinian and Ferdinand from Kineo AI, we learned strategies in lean AI and fast prototyping, and we learned how to maximize one of the most valuable assets of an early stage startup, time. Now, 3.5 months later, we look back to an amazing network. Without it, it wouldn't have been possible. We had 33 experts, coaches, and mentors with us to conduct 80 AI and business coaching sessions, a total of 39 hours live workshops and one-on-one trainings, all to support 12 promising AI teams. And today, at the demo day, we will see 10 selected startups who will pitch in front of our jury. And now let's start with the pitches. And let's start with the most important people today, the teams. In the next around 1.5 hours, we will see 10 teams pitching, and each team will pitch for 5 minutes, followed by a 4-minute Q&A by our jury. We will start in the following order: Reminisce AI, LucidWrite, KMap, Selecor, Myvi. Then we'll have a short break, and we will go on with AI Predict, Semanux, Spectre, MyScribe, and Palace. And throughout these pitches, our jury will judge the startups based on 9 criteria, which include idea and business model, value and customer benefit, market, technology, team, financials, and traction, pitch, and overall passion from the jury for the individual teams. And when we're done with it, there will be exactly 3 winners, where the third place will earn 500 euro in cash, the second place will win 1,000 euro in cash, and the first place will get 2,000 euro and additionally a wildcard for our scaling up program. So now I switch my focus again. I come to the most pressured people who have a huge responsibility today, our jury. And I'm pretty happy that we got 4 such inspiring personalities who combined have decades of experience in AI and startups. And I would like to introduce you one by one. So I would start with Vanessa Ken. Vanessa Ken finished her studies in politics, and after that, headed artificial intelligence and future mobility platforms at the Bundesverband Deutsche Startups. After that, she became the managing director of the KI-Bundesverband, where she's now managing the largest network of AI companies in Germany. But that's not enough. She's also included in several advisor roles, including Women in AI and Robotics, Green Tech Alliance, the KI Campus, and is in the steering committee of the European AI Forum. For her tremendous efforts and personal mission to make Europe one of the globally leading and sustainable AI ecosystems, she was also awarded as the Forbes 30 Under 30. A few days back, she was in Davos at the World Economic Forum, then at the Liam conference in Berlin, and now she's here with us in Stuttgart So let's say a big applause. Let's have a big applause and a big welcome to Vanessa. So now let's come to our second jury member, Dr. Corinna Apashite. Corinna is throughout a computer scientist and AI expert. She holds a doctorate in computer science from the University of Freiburg. After years at Robert Bosch, where she was leading the technical strategy for AI and big data, she's now leading the program for artificial intelligence and data at Continental. With her global team, she works close collaboration with other industry partners and academia, and she's also an advisor to Fraunhofer and the OTH Regensburg. When she's not celebrating the next breakthrough with her AI team, she's most probably celebrating the next goal in the stadium of her favorite football club, the SC Freiburg. And for me, it looks like both become more and more important today. So welcome, Corinna. Now I come to our third jury member, Axel Teubert. Axel is the head of startups and cloud natives at Google. Before, he held positions as head of gaming at YouTube and head of sales at the Google Marketing Platforms Germany. He started himself several companies and is now also active as a business angel. For me, he must be a master of storytelling because he's a retired rapper. But not only that, he's also a best-selling author of 2 books where he tries to deconstruct complex topics like a startup journey in AI for the next generation. Axel, I hope that your sons love the books as I do. And in the name of your title, welcome to our startup gang.
Thank you.
Last but not least, we have Antje Lange-Stalinski with us. She completed a degree in machine engineering and economics before receiving the doctorate in mechanical engineering at the RWTH Aachen. After several years in the industry, including leading roles in automotive in engineering, she's now, since 2 years, an investment professional at Trumpf Ventures, where she invests from 500,000 to 4 million euro in startups that are ready to scale. But her interest for mechanics, machines, and engineering didn't start only in her studies. I think it even started in her childhood, in her youth, because she loved to drive construction machinery. But on the other side, she also created chaos to everyone else on the street. So I'm not sure if we can take a test ride with one of our old-timers, but we are very happy that you are with us. Welcome. And now, enough with the talking. We will start with our first pitch. And I don't want to use much time to introduce Reminisce AI. I just say learning something can be quite hard, but this team makes it easy and fun. Big applause.
Slides? All right, let's go. So, hi, I'm Thilo from Reminisce, and we provide gamified learning that is tailored to you. So, do you remember the last time when you had to learn something? Was that fun? Probably not. So, that's actually exactly what Emma is currently struggling with. She's currently learning for exam in the topic of plant damage, and she has read the script 3 times now, and she's looking for more engaging ways of learning with her materials. So what are her options? Well, Quizlet.com provides human-generated flashcards that users can use for quizzing and testing themselves. Emma is headed there, and she types planned damage. She finds multiple different options by others from other universities, and she's quite unsure which of those flashcard decks actually suit her lecture the best. So she just picks the one that looks most promising. So now Emma starts to learn, and she realizes it's not something they covered in her lecture. But that's no problem, she says to herself. She can look on the backside of the card and get the definition. So Emma turns the card around and realizes she has no clue what the card is actually about. The content isn't fitting for her, it is difficult to understand, and the actual knowledge isn't linked here. So demotivated, Emma leaves Quizlet. So even though Quizlet has those major limitations, it generated quite some buzz when it was able to secure a 1 billion valuation in 2020. So this seems like a huge market that could profit from more efficient approaches. So what is the solution? This time, Emma goes to Reminisce AI, and she uploads her university slides, and our AI identifies the topics and concepts in her slides. From those, our AI generates learning summaries, quizzes, and explanations to generate an individual, effective, and fun learning environment. How does that look in practice? Well, here we have a real example of a slide, and our AI correctly identifies the topic and the concept at hand. Now, in the second step, our AI generates an aggregated learning cheat sheet that covers important knowledge about this specific topic. But we don't stop here. In the next step, our AI also generates suitable quiz questions which Emma can now use to challenge her fellow students. This way, she can learn in an individual, interactive, and social way that no other competitor to Reminisce AI can provide. So this leads to our solution. After interviewing over 50 students and pivoting multiple times, we created a web and mobile application where you can upload your own individual learning materials and get individually tailored learning content and questions for your use case. Each question that you answer is linked to the associated cheat sheet. So if you do not know a question, you're guaranteed to learn something new. You can also share and distribute your learning decks on our store and earn rewards from that. So why now? Well, because the time is now. With the current NLP advances and our in-house algorithms, we were able to generate a learning experience that is fun and engaging. But the time is limited, as other players are certain to exploit this possibility. So what is our business model? Well, learning with us is free if you use materials that someone shared with you or you found on the marketplace. If you want to turn off ads, you have to pay $4.99 per month. And if you want to generate individual learning content, you once pay $4.99, and then you become eligible to earn for all your life from others using your resource. So we are currently transitioning from test phase to going live, and we want to iterate on feedback that we generate from 3 different target groups: students, further education, and certifications. In addition to our B2C strategy, we're currently evaluating possible integrations into universities, learning platforms, and as a tool for e-learning designer, where we've gotten throughout positive feedback that Reminisce can lead to more open discussions in lectures, and that it can significantly simplify the everyday work life of an e-learning designer. This is Reminisce. We are working with a strong board of advisors, consisting of Samuel Yoon, a 4-time founder who's also active in the e-learning sector, and Professor Andreas Kuckertz. We are Reminisce, and we are shaping the way learners all around the world learn with their materials. Download our slides or visit Reminisce AI directly.
Okay, so then the stage is open to questions from the jury.
Thank you very much for the nice presentation. I'm wondering if you have already test users and what is their feedback?
It varied quite a lot because this technology is really new. So we had 1 year of Exist scholarship now, and we can see that I think 8 months ago, the feedback wasn't that good because the technology wasn't that good. But since we've evaluated for the last 1.5 months after the whole ChatGPT hype, and we're seeing that the generative possibilities are increased, we're just getting positive feedback here.
So learning, it's not only about quiz. Yeah, for me, this is a very initial stage of learning. Do you think of representing the knowledge which is learned by the AI itself to the user as well, such that she or he does not only learns how to cheat, but learns how different notions and terms belong to each other, something like knowledge graphs?
Yeah, actually, we have crafted the algorithm with a specific focus on that, on evaluating the possible relations between topics that are handled in the concept. So it's not just only factual, but it's more of how the relations between the individual topics as a whole are handled. Yes, but you can do both, basically.
Okay, next question.
Thank you for a presentation. You showed prices as a basis for a business model. Have you looked at the actual addressable market, and do you have any projections on how big this could be? Because you said in the beginning it has a lot of potential when it comes to funding, at least.
Yes, exactly. We have a slide for that. I'm glad to share it later with you. To be honest, I don't have the correct value right now in mind, so I will stay quiet here. But if you want later at the bar, I can surely give you a link to the slides with the addressable market.
Okay.
Thank you very much for the presentation. It was a very good idea. Also regarding the market, so what is the strategy? How you want to cover the market?
Well, I think from the first step, we're going to try to get into the university groups where there's a lot of students which learn canonized content. So there's biology, economics, there's typical concepts where we can share for students and just provide a share link where everyone can access the materials. This will probably be something that someone in operations can perform, where we don't have to hire extra marketing costs like WhatsApp. From the other side, we have 3 target groups. We have the further education sector, so we're working together with the IHK, for example, and try to get responses here where we can integrate Reminisce as a tool for making automated tests in the further education sector. And for the certification parts, we are specifically focusing on groups like Capgemini, for example, and try to get people who need IT certificates to give them free access to the tool, because for us it doesn't cost anything to generate the content.
Yeah, thanks for the presentation. I was wondering, what's your biggest challenge that you're facing right now?
Marketing.
In what form?
Money for marketing. That's everything. Okay. Maybe to be clear here, the product is basically finished. We need scalability right now.
Maybe we can squeeze in one last question. You said upload slides from the university. Have you thought about copyright issues there?
Sure. We have actually contacted a lawyer here. And the thing is, the technology is based on detecting topics and concepts. And topics and concepts cannot be copyrighted in some sense. So because our AI just analyzes it and we don't share the underlying content, it's without any problem.
Okay. Thank you so much. Big applause. Best early stage AI founders, 10 teams, only 3 winners. There were endless possibilities how we could have promoted this event. But we wouldn't have known what would be most attractive to the audience. LucidWrite makes this decision easy by using AI for content generation. Big applause.
Hello, we're LucidWrite and we're local content as a service. Your next customers won't speak your language. Let me explain you why. When a successful company wants to foster their growth, they have to go internationally. However, CEOs know that this is a huge opportunity and they want to push this go-to-market to be as fast as possible. But this is a huge pain for marketing managers because now they need to create content in languages and manage it that they don't even speak. The current solution is to translate the current content. However, as you may imagine, the simple translation doesn't work because it was never intended for these regions. We're developing a solution for this. We created a content generation engine that combines AI with human editors to correct its mistakes. Thanks to our innovative approach, we make the process of content writing 5 times faster than a human writer, which allows us to charge 5 times less than the industry average for the same quality. But most importantly, we enable companies to engage with their customers with true content that's really targeted for them. Let me show you how it works. From the user's perspective, when a marketing manager signs up to LucidWrite, we ask them about the brand language, the CEO strategy, and the best performing content they have. LucidWrite helps the marketing manager to come up with ideas for content for the new region and generates, once the marketing manager chooses the pieces of content he or she wants, they get it directly to the website in less than 24 hours. Let's see it from the LucidWrite perspective. Once the marketing manager chooses these ideas, LucidWrite generates multiple pieces of content and tells the editors that there's a new piece to correct. We provide these editors with smart checking tools to check for consistency, adequacy, facts, clarity, and SEO. We use knowledge graphs to make sense of all this data for each region. And we have a fine-tuned large language model to create the generated content. Besides, we use NLP tools to provide our editors with the right tools to correct different parts of the content. LucidWrite is a SaaS platform, and we have a subscription-based approach. We have a package for companies of each stage, and our packages are divided by the amount of content needed, the speed of quality, the level of content support, and the integrations. We have content marketing and AI NLP at the core of our team. My co-founder, Carol, and I have been working with content marketing for a long while. In 2019, we were providing digital agency services for companies in multiple regions, and we tackled the content marketing challenge by firsthand. This inspired us to go to academic research and find out ways to automate SEO using NLP. And this got us the Existed Scholarship. Thanks to this, we were able to create a content generation platform in 2022. And we were able to convince more than 150 users to use our platform, and some of them are still paying for a solution. After talking with more than 300 marketing managers, they told us that the real pain comes when they need to go to different countries and they don't speak the language. So now we're already starting with our new solution, and we're starting with German e-commerce companies that are willing to expand to Spain and English-speaking countries. So we know how big the content marketing market is. We've been part of that. We've been building websites, we've been writing product descriptions and blogs. And now, thanks to our innovative approach, we know that we can write much more for different regions. So I don't know how big this market will get, but I know that it will be big enough for you to come to speak to us. Thank you. We're LucidWrite, and we're local content as a service.
Okay, so we open the questions.
I'll start now. Thanks for your presentation. I think the human-in-the-loop approach is really interesting. You were saying 95 to 5%, you need like really high-quality content. Is 5% enough? And how are you going to provide for the scalability of it all if you have to have the people in the loop?
Yes, we already started with campaigns to see how many editors sign up. And it's actually really easy because there's a lot of people in other languages that need they have a spare time and they want to make some money on the meanwhile. And actually, a lot of university students signed up for this because we filter by preferences, for example, I don't know, technology or fashion, and they say, okay, I'm a Spanish-speaking person and I can write for fashion. And they only need to check, they only need to say this is right or wrong, and we provide them suggestions. Hey, here's a fact. You need to say, okay, I don't know, H&M is now expanding to South America. And is this correct or not? So they have already suggestions, and they just need to say, okay, this is correct or not. So it's just an easy, like this, yes or no, and LucidWrite generates more options for them. So it's quite easy for them to use our platform and to make some money on the side.
I'm wondering if you have some means of measuring the impact of your content. And second, if there are differences between the automatically generated content and the human-generated content.
Yeah, so as I said, we had a content generation platform, and we were creating blogs. We focused on marketing content, and we already had this problem, okay, what's the things that are missing? And for example, facts were one of them. You can measure how well it has performed from speaking mostly to marketing managers. That's what we did. And they tell us that there's actually no difference from what they publish from a generating piece or from a human written content. The thing is, sometimes, if you write it by yourself with AI, for example, with ChatGPT, you'll have to edit much more than write. That's why we want to provide them with the easy solution. Okay, I want this piece of content, and you will get it out as fast as possible to your CMS. You don't have to hire writers. You don't have to check if the AI is working or if it comes with your CMS. Everything is quite easy for you, so you get the piece of content that you need.
You mentioned that your business model is a SaaS model,
Yep.
and you showed 3 different customer types. What are you charging? And you also said that you already have paying customers. What's your current MRR?
We had exist, so we didn't measure the real income that we had. As I said, we have 6 big paying customers. I'm not sure about it's more than 10,000 so far for a year, annual recurring revenue, sorry. I'm not sure how much is the monthly, but you can see that we're pivoting to local content now. We're having some pilot projects here, and we haven't decided the price range that we'll have, but we know that these are expanding companies, and they have this pain point already, so we're finding our sweet spot for a price, let's so to say.
As a follow-up, are you planning on charging per content piece, monthly subscription with?
Maybe I can go back again to clarify that. For the content needed, let's say a company produces 10 blogs or 100 product descriptions, and they need it in a day or maybe 1 week is good enough for them. And how many times does an editor need to prove this? And do they need to speak with an agent every week or, every day? And maybe it's a WordPress integration, but maybe it's something more customized for them. So we're targeting these types of customers,
Okay.
Thank you.
Time is over. Big applause
so
for LucidWrite. So the next team has 3 co-founders, and they have one thing in common. They are all computer scientists. But one is a professor, two of his best students. Now they are on the way to make documentation easily accessible and findable in any organization. Please welcome Team KMAP.
Yeah, hi everyone, I'm Marina and I'm introducing you to KMAP today. And you all know that knowledge and document management are key factors for successful companies, but somehow we're all stuck with something like this. So there's a lot of knowledge buried in diverse types of documents, and working with digital documents can be a real struggle. Imagine you're preparing a meeting, you have to dig deep for some PDF buried on some SharePoint server, or you're also taking meeting minutes inside Notion to have them ready when the meeting starts. And if you're really lucky, you have a neat and tidy wiki where the documents are linked usefully. But to be honest, you keep creating documents about documents. So that's kind of frustrating, right? So we present you our solution, a document-centric knowledge management platform. It lets you preserve your knowledge effortlessly by wikifying your documents. You can find everything that matters with AI-powered suggestions, and we're there to save you time and your nerves with our all-in-one web application. Well, you might think it's just another knowledge management tool, but have a closer look at our core functionality, the snippet and linking workspace. So you're reading something, you find something interesting, and you just cut out the interesting space you need. You might think it's just a plain old screenshot, but it's an actual part of the document. So if the content, the text, the metadata, everything's there. You can search it, you can annotate it, just as you would in the PDF. With just a few clicks, you create a link, and then the link is preserved in your document for you and your teammates. You can share it, and you can hover over this link and have the information that you need right there when you read it. You don't have to open a wiki again. So you can also add some more information by adjusting the label of the link, or you can add comments to share your findings with your teammates in real time. If you want to, you can also jump from the snippet into the original document of the snippet and read more if you need to. So you can stop creating documents about documents and start preserving your knowledge right where you need it, in the document. So what's the market? Knowledge management market is a multi-billion-dollar market with a growth rate projected in double digits, so it's thriving. Also, we're profiting from trends in this market, which is AI and cloud, that are actual key drivers of the knowledge management and document management market. We talked to several customers in different industries, and we received very positive feedback. So we noticed that we're producing really a value wherever knowledge and documents are managed. We're targeting large enterprises first in order to position us robustly and create a trustworthy image. Of course, our product is perfectly suitable as a software as a service platform with all the known features, subscription-based revenue, and a tiered pricing model. So now let me introduce you to the team that's behind KMAP. We're 3 computer and data scientists that found each other at Heidelberg University. That's why we're located in Heidelberg. And we can look back on several years of successful collaboration, of course, within the scientific field, but also we competed together at hackathons and competitions, which we also won. Julian Freiberg is full-stack developer, and he can look back on 10 years of development. Michael Gerz, he is our AI and text analytics expert. He is a professor at Heidelberg University for text analytics and NLP. And he's also a second-time founder. Myself, next to KMAP, of course, I'm an UI UX lover, and I also work at a large tech company as solution architect. So we founded KMAP in April 2022, and this year, in January, our product reached the stage of an MVP, and we're now looking for funds. Using these funds, we will launch the product production ready and create the first major revenue, and in 2 years from now, we're looking to widen our customer base with major integrations into existing content management systems, such as SharePoint, for example, to really scale up then. So we're looking for an active partner or active partners that help bring our product to life, and we're also looking for an investment or investments at the end of this year for around 400K. And yeah, let's have a nice chat after this event, stay in touch, visit our website, and yeah, let's row this boat together. So thanks for the attention.
So, dear jury, you can start asking questions.
What is the thing which wasn't possible before your startup and becomes possible after?
So before, imagine you're reading, for example, the annual revenue report of a company or whatever. So documents are usually shared as PDF. PDF are very static files, and it's really hard to add information to that. You would have to remember where is this PDF stored, what's the name of the file, and if you want to take something out of that PDF, you have to write it down, maybe in a wiki, or take a screenshot and annotate the screenshot. But our idea is that you, while you read and do your knowledge work, or while you're preparing your research or a meeting, you can simply aggregate these kind of information inside your documents, so that it's faster, it's more convenient, it's in your workflow embedded, yeah.
So this is kind of an extension of or editor for PDF, or?
So we started with PDF because there we saw the most need for it, but it's not limited to PDF. So this should be a platform for all kinds of documents, talking about Excel spreadsheets or Word or PowerPoint slides, also, for example, websites or emails. Yeah.
Thank you very much for this good presentation. In what kind of industries you're using it? So what will be your first focus there?
So we are already talking to, for example, big enterprises in manufacturing and chemical, because there you have a lot of documentation. For example, large document collections, of course, help to create useful links, but you could also start with smaller document collections. And we also saw really nice use cases in, for example, in the area of energy consulting, wherever knowledge needs to be consolidated and needs to be kept up to date in an easy way and shared. Yeah.
I'm looking at this chart here, and I'm wondering, the revenue numbers that you're projecting, are those monthly or yearly revenue numbers?
Yeah. So in the first year after launching the product to be production ready, we want to have a 50K actual annual revenue by 2 or 3 POCs, and then scale up in 2 years from now then.
And how many, you said 50K is 2 or 3 customers, so what is the actual average revenue of a customer that you're
So, of course, when we start, of course, in the first stages, we have to accommodate our product to the needs of the large enterprises, but we are looking, for example, in the second year, that we are relying on the recurring revenue of the subscription model. And then the revenue is based on a number of users and the storage that is used.
Okay, but roughly how many customers would that represent? Do you have a number behind the revenue number of customers?
In the second year, well, it depends, of course. I just can guess now. I would say it's actually it should be like 10 customers, something like that.
Okay.
Depends on the size of the users then and of the document collection.
Okay, one last question.
Yeah, sure.
I was wondering, I can absolutely see the need. I was wondering though, what will prevent like Google, Microsoft and so on to do this themselves? I can see your exit partners in them, but why you as a team?
Yeah, that's a great question actually. So we aren't seeing ourselves as direct competitors to Google, Microsoft or whatever. It really should be on top and together with those document management systems. And we as a team are perfect for that because we have the knowledge of the AI side, of the NLP side. Because, for example, the linking, we have seen now the manual linking, but is much more useful, of course, when you have intelligent suggestions. These suggestions are based on layout analysis and, of course, some NLP, some text analytics components. And this is our expertise. And therefore, we are the perfect team to solve that riddle and, create value.
Perfect. Thank you so much,
Yeah,
Team
thanks.
K-Map. So imagine you're an architect or designer and just created a hand sketch. How do you transfer this 2D into a 3D object? Team Celicore builds a platform that makes this transition easy. Welcome, Team Celicore.
Hello, my name is Clemens Ried. My co-founders are Florian Korb and Nikias Hess, and we provide the construction industry with a digital, easy and fast solution, more specific in the field of energy consultant. So in Germany, buildings account for 35% of the total energy consumption. To reduce this waste, we in Germany have experts called energy consultants. To support them, we have public fundings of 9 billion euros per year. And the energy consultants provide their customers with the fastest and cost-efficient solution to energetic reconstruct buildings. But how is he doing it? So first he goes to the customer's house and makes the current state of this building. So he looks how is the insulation and the windows and the doors. Then he has to make a digital representation of exactly this building to make calculations and recommend then actions to his customer. We can see here that the capturing the data is one of the biggest steps in the whole process. There's different methods to capture this data. First, you can make a 3D scan or make measurements by hand, or the most common way is to take the floor plans and reconstruct them in a CAD tool. CAD tools are mostly cost intense and hard to learn, and we can see here it's also a long process to rebuild the whole building. So we thought there must be a faster and more easy way to do this. So we provide our customers with a web platform where you just can upload a plan. Our AI model predicts then, like a human would do, the walls, the windows, and the doors, and give our customers a 3D representation of exactly this building. He can then download the file and purchase directly in our platform. We use industry standards, so he easily can then implement it in his own workflow. That reduces around 30% of the whole time, and that means also in Germany we can then write about 200K more applications per year. But why is this possible? Why is this important? In Germany at the moment we have 600K applications per year. To reach our climate goals, we at least have to energetic rebuild 1 million houses, and the energy consultants are almost at their limits. So we have to make the process faster. And this is just Germany. In the EU, we have 5.5 million houses we have to rebuild. In the next 3 years, based on test calls and pilot customers who really want to have this tool, we will grow the company from 3 to 14 people, and we're calculated with a turnover after the third year with 1.4 million euros. Our competitors are clustered in 3 different types. The first one is CAD software, like for architects. The second one is companies, smaller companies, who redraw plans by themselves, by hand. And the third one is companies that are automating the construction area, but none of them are so specific than we are in the area of energy consultant. We started with the first idea in 2021. Last year we developed the MVP and will launch it in March. And next year we go into the growth phase. Our team is Nikias Hess, a software developer, gained working experience at EY as a software developer. Florian Kopp, responsible for sales, customer relationship management and finance, gained working experience at Festo. My name is Clemens Ried. I'm responsible for marketing, UI, UX design, and IP, and worked at Mercuris. So we have a market that's ready for the product. We have a product that's ready for the market, and we are ready to grow. Thanks for your attention.
Thank you, Team Citicore. The floor is open for questions.
Thank you very much for your presentation. Very niche, but interesting niche that you presented. I was wondering, I'm not sure whether you mentioned it, how many of these energy consultants are there in Germany? And is this only a German thing, or do other countries need that as well?
In Germany, we have 15 to 20,000 energy consultants, so we can, based on numbers. And we have energy consultants in Austria, but this specific topic, like we do it in Germany, it's really unique.
Okay, thank you very much for this good presentation. You mentioned in the comparison with the competitors that they are not as specific as you are. So what is it? What is the specific, what you are offering?
Yeah, exactly. So the first group, the CAD software developers, is mostly, they're focusing on design. It's a really big market, or also like architect software, and it's super expensive. Then there is this software like Hotgenrot. They are focusing on energy consultants, but have not knowledge about how to automate this process. So they have this also the small CAD core in their software. And the other two, also this automation softwares for construction is like more about buildings and big projects to have not these needs. So there are a lot more like specific features you have to have in the software. But the energy consultant is just like focusing on the walls, windows, doors, and needs a quick and dirty solution.
I have 3 questions. The first one, can you please explain the AI? So you upload the file, the AI is doing some magic, and then you get this prediction for the building. The second one, have you filed a patent or invention disclosure for this IP? And the third one, have you approached government? Because there is an obvious sustainability goal also at national level. Maybe you have 2001 customers.
Okay, it's a lot of questions. Can you repeat the first one? So the customer is uploading a picture, and then we make a feature detection on this picture. So we train it on walls, windows, and doors. And out of this position information, we can rebuild a 3D model, but this for sure has no scale. So we have to, or in the first step, the customer has to scale the model with one value at its own. I don't know if this is logic. And exactly, we don't have a patent. And yes, we thought about other like industries we can extend this, but we first want to have a customer get revenue to see, okay, is this needed to get attraction, and then goes in the direction of facility management or in the design area, in the construction area. I mean, there's so much like, the Maschinenbau, sorry, engineering, the field of engineering, there's so much more plans than just the energy consultants. So this field of redraw and make plans intelligent and a further need is gigantic, but we can just focus on one topic, not of all of them.
Hey, we made it on time with the questions, 3 of them. So, yes, thank you so much for Team Selecor. Applause. And our next team is the youngest in terms of age, but believe me, it's just the age. If you love local wine and care about healthy consumption, you will love their idea. Team Mavi. Big applause, please.
The world's glaciers are melting. War in Europe. But in the vineyards, everything is still fine, right? But no. Due to climate change, for example, we're encountering many new disease variants, and they lead to a large-scale use of pesticides for protection and treatment in the vineyard. In each bottle of wine, we consume approximately 1 teaspoon of pest residue. So currently, the process after a disease has been detected takes extremely long time and is a multi-step process. So, after the disease has been detected, the wine grower often has to send the leaf to an institution to get an exact analysis of the type of disease. This process takes a lot of time, and meanwhile he's waiting for the results, the spread of the disease will significantly widen, and thus applying even more pesticides is the only response left to the wine growers. As a result, we as a consumer consume those pesticides and risk long-term health side effects, diseases like cancer, and many others. So our team developed a completely new and easy approach to solve this problem, which is very important for the industry, our human health, and for nature, to reduce this immense amount of pesticides in the vineyards. With our technology called MyV, we enable an accurate disease analysis on site. So how does it work? If a vine grower or his employee detects an infested leaf, he takes a picture, and MyV, our app using AI, directly gives feedback about the type of disease and treatment suggestion. This app can be installed on an Android or iOS smartphone and is available in many different languages. Further, the people using our app need no prior knowledge, so it can be used by any hobby vine grower as well. With the data we collect of the infestation, our app creates local spread analysis maps, which is also provided to the users of our apps, and they are now allowed to take preventive and early measures. With our product, we're addressing the worldwide vine market, which is a $341 billion industry. In addition, $88 billion were invested in green tech projects 2021. Another market we address is the pesticide market, which already in 2019 amounted to $85 billion. We face competitors like apps trying to detect different diseases on different plants. And while they give you treatment advices, they aren't specialized on vineyard treatment, so their precision isn't high. In contrast, MyV enables an accurate disease analysis with an accuracy of 96%. And it also works without any internet connection, which is very important for an analysis in the vineyard. Without having started any advertising campaign, we already have over 760 international app downloads. In terms of finances, we plan on 2 different sources of income. First, the user pays per scan packages, enabling him to analyze the infestation. If just 0.5% of the vine growers use our app, we calculate $110,000 per year. We also calculate with $590,000 yearly by affiliate marketing. We are suggesting treatment products at a 15% commission. Our user feedback is very positive, and we posted some interviews on our website for new clients to consult. After creating the dataset, we programmed the app as well as the AI and published them in 2021. Since then, we continuously improved our dataset and our user interface. Now, we want to combine our app with mechanized farming, such as tractors, and this would broaden the scale and also allow usage for bigger cultivation areas like in the USA. And we do not plan to stop with wine. We want to expand to other crops as well. With help of our current partners, we've learned a lot in terms of business, improved our AI, and we are one step closer to perfect vine growing and agriculture. We're both 19 years old, and now we want to enlarge our team by an experienced founder who's interested in green tech. Thank you for your attention.
Dear jury, we are open to questions.
Yeah, thanks for your presentation. I was wondering, not being a wine or growing expert, my plants all go brown, but maybe I need your app. Why so specific? So wouldn't it be more interesting to go into plants in general? What are sicknesses that wine has that other plants don't have?
So we started with wine because 20% of all pesticides applied in Europe are applied in the vineyards. If we look at the agricultural space, they only take 3%. So we have an overdimensional usage of pesticides in the vineyards. That's why we started here. But as I already mentioned, we want to expand to other crops as well.
Thank you very much. Very interesting, a very good idea.
Thank you.
From where do you get the knowledge about the diseases that you can see then in the KI?
So, as I mentioned, we have many partners, for example, the Julius Kühn Institute, and they are, like I mentioned before in the process, the vine growers were sending the leave to get an analysis by the experts, and we went to those experts, like the US Kuhn Institute, and we told about our idea. So we went out to the vineyards, took a lot of pictures, and then we talked to them and show them the pictures, and they would classify them for us.
So I won't ask why don't you use drones? Why don't you use tractors or something what is already existing in the infrastructure and can be maybe extended with certain cameras?
Yes, we thought, of course, also of the drones, but if you look with a drone view, you only see from above, and some diseases you only see from the underside of the leaf, and that's why we decided to first start with the pictures, and now to maybe apply the app also on tractors. And it is the case that many vine growers walk through their vineyards still because they can't use tractors because it's not easy to walk, to go through there with a tractor, but in bigger cultivation areas, we also want to expand to tractors, yes.
You said that the app is live, it's been downloaded, and it's currently for free, or do you already generate revenues via affiliate marketing, for example?
Currently, it's completely free of charge because we wanted to test our app, but we're in close contact to our customers, and we are also asking them if they would pay, for example, or how much they would like to pay for it. So yes, we want now to start with the finance plan.
Better than treat a disease is to prevent it. So do you think of a kind of predictive maintenance for vineyard, so to take pictures and somehow to make prediction about the future, to say in 2 weeks, if we don't do anything, this vineyard will become sick?
That's a very good point. So currently, we're simply taking the data which we get through the app so that the vine grower already sees if, like, for example, in the next vine growing, you can see a disease, he could take preventive measurements. And that would be another aspect to train an AI who would predict the spread as well.
What's your sales strategy? I could imagine that many vineyards are very small, probably. It's difficult to reach them. How do you
So we would like to go to fairs and present there our app. And as well, the vine growing community is really good connected. So if you know one vine grower, it's easy to, he's telling his user experience, and then it would spread.
Okay, thank you so much, Team Ivy.
Thank you.
And now it's halftime. We've seen 5 amazing teams, and we would do a short bio break of about 5 to 6 minutes, and then see you soon. So, dear ladies and gentlemen, the small break is almost over. Everybody who's here in Stuttgart, please take a seat again. It's allowed to eat and drink also at your place. Don't worry about that. And to everyone who's following us online, the bio break here in Stuttgart took a little bit longer. We are sorry for the small delay. But we will shortly go back and go on with the next 5 teams. Okay, so everyone taking a seat. So, we've seen before the break 5 great pitches, and now we will go on with the second round of pitches with the teams AI Predict, Semanox, Spectre, MyScribe, and Palace. And the next team is maybe the most experienced one that we have in terms of the professional years. But a team that also exchanged their positions, their professional positions, to tackle a huge industry issue by their own. So welcome to Team AI Predict. Big applause, please.
Thank you. Thank you. Experience doesn't necessarily mean old. Well, we are setting the new standard, and that means we are setting a new standard for recipe development for chemicals with AI. What does it mean? We started in 2 fields. Coatings is one field. And for instance, Porsche needs a new color. And color means color. It means glance. It means metallic. We are talking about interior. We are talking about exterior parts or the whole body of the car. And Porsche gives a color board to our customer, for example, Evonik or BASF. And they measure that color board, and then they need a number of iterations to get the final recipe with their materials. They need round about 15, 20, or even 30 iterations to get that recipe. It takes a lot of time. We are talking about weeks. And it costs a huge amount of money. And that whole process you see there costs around about 20,000 euros. We take the same data for our software, and it only takes 2 or 3 iterations to get the recipe. And in numbers, we are going down from 4 weeks to a day or 2 or maybe 3 days. And the total costs are going down from around about 20,000 euros to 2,000 euros. And Porsche needs hundreds of color boards every year, and that means thousands of iterations. We are only talking about Porsche. We already have a well-developed platform. And well-developed means we get results. You can get it customized if you're a bigger player, or as a service if you're a mid-size or smaller company. We have a standard setup, proof of concept with customers' data. Then we go into a project with a running solution. After that, we maintain the software, and of course, we get a license fee for that. It's possible to extend the functionality, going from lab to production, from lab to purchasing, or from lab to whatever. Coatings is not the only industry. Where can we calculate that? Coatings are liquids, but colors are also used for printing materials. We are talking about surface solutions in general, special topics such as wax or glue. And the most sexiest thing for us would be if we go into composites. The market is pretty big. We can go deep in certain markets, but those markets have one in common. The dynamic is very high, and that means they must have a very high R&D intensity. If you're talking about 20 or 30 ingredients, there's a huge technology, and so they have to be very open, and they are 2 technologies. Our current competition, we didn't find a competitor in Europe who has the software and the process know-how for that. But unfortunately, others are working on that too. Fraunhofer and other institutions, all the global players, AI department, are working on that topic. We already have customers, and customer for us means paying customers. Mankiewicz in Hamburg, automotive, aviation, yachting. We started this week with Deutsche Skiverband, very interesting. We get research funding from BW Invest, and we will have a number of proof of concepts this year. Why now? 3 statements. If it works, it will be a quantum leap for our industry. We skip 1 technology level. Can we talk about a share? That's what customers told us last year, and I think this is the answer to the question, why now? We are looking for investors. We intend to raise our revenues from around about 500,000 this year to 3.5 in 3 years. 2/3 license and maintenance, 1/3 project business. And we have to increase our productivity and our upselling time each year. We get that leverage because we have to think ahead recipe markets. That's quite important for fast acquisition, and we want to build up our standard platform. We are a team of 3. Markus, Klaus, and I, we are experienced. We know how to develop software. We have experience in data science, project management, and we know how to talk with the management. And we know what can go wrong. And we have an existing network. Well, overall, it works. We are an R&D-driven market. We have few competition, and we have paying customers. The potential is enormous, and that's why we are looking for pre-seed investors. Thank you very much.
So, dear jury, the second round is open for questions.
Thank you very much for your presentation. You started, or you are focusing on the market of coating for automotive. It sounded though that you currently have customers in completely different areas. Like the Deutsche Skiverband and that yacht company. Is that wrong, or did I miss something there? Because I'm wondering whether you are tailoring to other customers while actually you want to work with automotive.
We stay at the coating markets, and the customer I just mentioned is the first customers. We are planning to have projects with other customers in the automotive industry this year. But they are not on the list yet, so they are not paying customers. And Deutsche Skiverband is, well, that's not a big market. The next market for skiing is a small market, but it's for marketing reasons and for getting experience. It's a wonderful project. And if only 1 German ski driver is winning, it's the best marketing we can get.
Okay, thank you.
Coming to the automotive customer, so I assume that that customer will have a kind of conflicting criteria, which he would like to somehow balance. Costs, quality of the coating, maybe the length of the supply chain and so on. Do you take such aspects into consideration when proposing the recipe?
We are still in the lab. We are not in the production yet. We want to extend our business to production, but it's kind of complicated to make all the steps in 1 step. What's important for our customers is that they reduce their developing time quite a lot. And they already spent a lot of money, and I just mentioned those, around about 20,000 euros for a process. And some customers, we have another, hopefully, customer. They get 700 color boards from BMW every year. And then it's pretty easy to calculate how much money they don't have to invest for that.
Yeah, development time is 1 aspect, but if you deliver bullshit, sorry for the word, so it's not beneficial neither. But I have another question, maybe, which is more smart.
We don't deliver bullshit. The quality of our recipe is... you can measure our quality. And the recipe we develop is right now as good as that the human eye can't see any difference anymore. And this is enough for our customer.
And this is my second question. How do you embed human intelligence in there? So do you have a pure AI model, or you have a kind of human-in-the-loop approach to win from both worlds?
Well, we have two steps. The first iteration is an initial recipe. And then a person looks at this initial recipe and he can decide what he wants to do in the next step. And he can do that manually. He doesn't have to, but experience is still a value. So he can say, I don't want to have this and this and this and that, and then he gets the final recipe. But it has to have a certain quality, a defined quality. And going back to your last question, we will, okay. We will be paid if you get a certain solution or a certain quality.
Oh, okay, we have 7 seconds. Maybe you can explain, how are you gaining your data? Is that a problem in any way?
No, we get the data from our customer. We are working with real data from our customer. That's incredibly important because without that data, we don't get a recipe.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Team AI Predict.
Thank you.
Now we come to the next team. The digital world should be accessible to everyone, no matter which preconditions. Team Semanux is using AI to create equal opportunities for people with physical disadvantages. Team Semanux.
Thank you. Thank you. Hello, everyone. We aim to make the digital world inclusive for people with disabilities so that they can control computers via their individual capabilities. Before I get to the details, let me tell you a story about a Greek legend. King Midas. He was most famous for his ability to turn anything he touched into gold. However, this did not end well for him because he turned the love of his life to gold. And also, eventually, he starved to death as he could not eat anything. Any food he touched was turning to gold also. The reason I tell you this story is that there is a famous phenomenon in UX design called Midas touch, named after Midas King. It described a condition when a user intentionally activates something and then frustrated as a result of it. For instance, when we are talking on the phone and unintentionally touch our ear and it cuts the call. Eye tracking where a user is looking at, is the most common solution for people to interact with the computer, people who are unable to use their hands. And eye tracking is famous for suffering from a Midas touch problem because we want to freely look around, but everything we look at activates something, and that's not intuitive. It drives people mad. And we are here to change that. We at Semanux, from over 15 years of our research in field of human-computer interaction and accessibility, we have learned that people with disabilities, they have different problems. They need different solutions. We have created a variety of interaction techniques that one can use, combine, and personalize it based on their needs. Some of our methods are novel, and they originate from our research that are published at premier conferences. And it's been always the goal of our startup to transfer this knowledge into actual product and bring it into people's life. We have created a head tracking system that does not require any expensive hardware. It works on any basic laptop with a basic webcam. And we have created many ways for people to trigger an action on a computer, from feet pedal to facial expressions, like a smiling, blinking, or opening and closing the mouse. We also support adaptive controller for those who have finger weakness, but they are able to press a few buttons. We have created ways that never existed before. We have a pending patent for using nonverbal voice inputs. For instance, there are people with disabilities who also suffer from a speech disorder. They are unable to use the common voice commands, but they can just look at an icon and say, to select it. So how many disabled people are there in the world? There are, based on World Health Organization has estimated that there are over 1 million people 1 billion people with some form of disabilities around the world. With 110 million of them have severe difficulties in functioning, meaning we're talking about a lot of world that are unable to use very basic things with computer, like texting their family, make a doctor appointment, or simply book a train ticket. We have, our service is currently available for German-speaking countries. It's a SaaS solution for 29 euro per month. However, we aim to also support this service for other countries. Our solution is integratable in other fields when our hands are occupied. For instance, at industry terminal or on hygienic surfaces, such as those on public terminals. Our product was ready around half a year ago, and since then, 89 early adopters have started using Semanux. We have made partnership with accessibility product distributors inside Germany and Austria, and there are also companies who are interested in integrating Semanux solution into their existing application. It's also nice to see every day more and more people are showing interest to Semanux solution. And here's our team. We are a group of researchers from University of Stuttgart, and we also have the privilege to have Stefan on our team, who's one of top AI professors here in Germany. And that's all. Thank you so much for your time, and please check our social media, Instagram, YouTube, to learn more about our products. Thank you so much.
Okay, so now it's time for questions.
Okay, thank you very much, and very useful thing. Just one question about what you're offering. So you said your service, you pay a service fee, and then how far does this cover any hardware that is required, or is this more something like Beratung?
No, we have a software. It's a software that people can easily install on their computer. That's one main thing that makes us different from the other competitors. Usually you need an expensive eye tracker, but normal webcam works in our solution. So they can just install it on any laptop.
So there's no further hardware?
There's no further hardware. Oh. Of course, we are supporting different hardware, for instance, the buttons that I mentioned, because, for instance, ALS patients, they are different stages. At some point, they can still use some buttons. They start to have finger weakness. They cannot use a common mouse. They cannot click, but they can press a button with their hand. So there are buttons. It can be integrated into our application. But those buttons, we don't make them. You can easily buy them on Amazon, for instance, or any other.
Thank you very much. I very much like your idea, catering to people with disabilities. The $29 or euros per month is for some people, especially with disabilities, fairly high. Have you considered getting this subsidized by maybe insurance companies or any other corporates that...
I mentioned we are working with accessibility distributors here in Germany, and there is a lifetime license that insurances actually compensate. So if our patients buy the application through the distributors, it gets compensated currently.
Great, thanks.
Yeah, thanks also from my side. There's lots of people working on eye tracking software, so I was wondering, why is your team the best?
Well, as I mentioned, one thing is that multimodality that we brought. Most common solutions are just focusing on one thing. They focus on eye tracking, or they are focused on controllers, or they are focused on voice commands. But as I mentioned, not all of this works for everybody. We try to create a system that provide a solution for everybody, also for different stages. So exactly, again, ALS patient. At the earliest stages, they still can do more than just eye tracking. Actually, in the very latest stages, when they only have the muscles of the eye functioning, then eye tracking will be the only solution in the end for them. But during all this process, all these stages, they can still work more intuitive, more comfortably, and that's what we're trying to do.
What have you learned from the interaction with the users you have so far? with your tool, and which were the insights which flow into the tool again to improve it. So what surprised you in the interaction with the users?
We just, as I mentioned, based on research, or many years of research, we come up with these products. And through the research, by just experimenting on different modality, we have learned what solution provides more comfortable and what is faster for a user to use. For instance, text entry system is one of the main way we interact with the computer. We text on our phone, we type on the computer. It's the main way we interact with the computers. And we created 2 of the top text entry systems that currently are available. There is, in 2021, at KI conference, there is a paper, there is a list of approaches on it. And 2 of these top methods are approaches that actually my colleagues and I have published.
Thank you so much. Team Semanux.
Thanks.
So now let's come to our 8th team. Maxime and Dennis know each other for around 25 years in and out. And I'm not just saying that because they are brothers. And they are building a product that I would have loved to use before I got on stage today. So please welcome Team Spectre.
So, today we already have seen quite a lot of great presentations, but that is not always the case. So sometimes you listen to a presentation and you feel like this lovely woman. And we came across one problem. A lot of presentations suck. And that is especially the case in the corporate world. I think that if you have worked in the company for 1 or 2 years, you have come across some presentations that look like this. And if it's a digital presentation, it gets even worse, because then people in their camera frame sometimes look like this. And I won't even start talking about how this presentation would sound like. But you can imagine the impact that such a presentation can have on your company. So we were thinking about solutions, how we can help people to really become great at public speaking. And eventually, we thought about AI solutions, but realized that AI can't do what we need to do to optimize those presentations. So therefore, we came across a solution that leverages the powers of real humans as well as AI to build a solution that helps everyone. So we at Spectre are now creating a platform that your employees can use to practice their presentations in front of a real audience and receive feedback from real public speaking coaches as well as our AI. Let's dive into it. So your employee can easily book a meeting via our booking tool. And we will send him a link that he can use to get on our platform. On the platform, he has 30 minutes to practice his presentation in front of between 1 to 10 employees from our side, and then receive feedback afterwards. After each presentation, we collect the feedback from all the people and the feedback from our AI, and call your employee for a 15-minute feedback call, where we will then get into the depth of getting better at the presentation. Besides that, we will also hand out a PDF sheet, where you then can see all the metrics that we are analyzing. And you might ask what we exactly are analyzing during a presentation. And there are 3 topics, for instance, voice and camera frame and slides. And in detail, for the voice part, we have, for instance, pace and filler words. Then for the camera frame, we check how your camera setup is. And of course, also the emotions that you convey to the opposite. And then, in regards to the slides, we check your alignment, as well as if you comply to the corporate guidelines. But that's not all, because besides that, our coach will then give you curated articles that you can then read in your free time to really improve upon. And while all this service already sounds quite great, we are still planning to make the experience more realistic. So at a later stage, we plan that we use deepfake technology so that we really can control our AI models that we have in the call. Looking at the competitive landscape, there are already quite some solutions that try to assist with all that. There are technological-only solutions and, of course, human-only solutions. For instance, a speaking coach. And our service combines the benefits of both. But of course, you would say, yeah, but that's not scalable. But our plan is that at a later stage, we use all our coaches to then train our AI. So our coaches will do the labeling on a very high level, and that will give us a competitive edge. So like Patrick already said, our founding team is my brother and myself. So we have worked together for more than 25 years. And we are very happy that we now already have a public speaking coach in our team who is head of coaching. And over the last 3 to 4 months that we have been in this accelerator, we have accomplished quite a lot. So we have a fully functioning product. We already had our first test calls with real customers. And we, of course, also got our first letter of intent for the phases afterwards. So if you want to use our solution in your company, feel free to reach out. And you can just scan this code and book a meeting with us. Thank you.
So as always, the floor is open for questions.
The quality of a presentation depends very much on its purpose.
Yes.
So how do you consider this in your evaluation?
Of course. So in the beginning, in the booking process, you can say who the audience will be and what your purpose is, so that we can already prepare on what is expected from our side. And then our coaches, of course, are trained to check if it's, for instance, a sales pitch, that they can then say, okay, those would be criteria that would be important for that sense. Or if it's a startup pitch, for instance, what a typical structure would look like and how it fits into those areas.
Maybe I missed it, sorry, but the financials, the plan, any idea on where you want to be in, say, 2 years when it comes to existing customers, monthly recurring revenue?
Okay, yes, of course. So our plan is currently that we get to approximately 100,000 in this year. So that would be approximately 20 customers for just this year, because we have packages that we offer. So one presentation with us costs currently 240 euros. And then we say our minimum amount that a company has to buy so that we start working with them would be 25 presentations. Therefore, 20 customers approximately. That would be the goal for this year.
I have 2 questions. One is also on the scalability. I'm glad you addressed it, because otherwise I would have asked. Why wait until later to train the AI? Why not kind of feedback the AI straight away with your coaches?
Yeah.
And also kind of addressing Corinna's question, I bet there's some issues that that also the AI can't actually give feedback to. So a lot of like content,
yes.
I get the gestures and stuff like that, or mimic and things. But what can't the AI maybe address? I think that's an important question.
Okay. Yes, of course. So like you said, content will be a major issue because, of course, company presentations are very specific at times. Therefore, that will be something that our AI will never be able to do, or at least for now. And what our AI will be able to do, of course, is then everything regarding the basics of a great presentation. So if we later on have a standalone AI product that is currently also in planning, we can then also have the version where we have experts, and those experts can then do the things that the AI can't do. Yes. And yeah, you said also regarding training the AI model while we are working on it, we are currently collecting a lot of data, and our coaches are already labeling that data in a certain sense. But of course, we need to dig into how we really want to have the data labeled. That is an issue that we are currently working with. But that happens at the same time. However, we will then only implement the solution as soon as we have checked or tested the models sufficiently.
Can you say something more about your target group? I could imagine, for example, the big corporates aren't really open to things like that because you can have coaches like internally. Are you talking to smaller companies? What is their feedback?
So our target group is currently companies between 250 and then 1,000 employees. However, we have already had success in talking to larger corporates. And besides those companies, we also had success with consultancies, because of course they want their consultants to have quite great presentation skills. That would be the range that we are looking into.
Okay, thank you so much. Team Spectre. We hear it regularly that we have a lack of specialists, especially in the medical field. But is it really only the missing number of doctors and people? Or is it also related to the lack of time they spend with the patients? So Team iScribe will give us an answer and how to solve it. Please. Big applause, please. Yeah.
This is what I expected when I started working as a doctor in a hospital. Spending lots of time with my colleagues to diagnose and treat diseases, and most of all, spending time with patients. But this is what reality looks like. Dissatisfied, waiting patients, wondering what the doctor is doing for so long, and doctors who are totally overloaded with paperwork. So that currently 25% of all doctors wanting to give up their jobs. This number is incredibly high, and you can imagine that the realization of this intention will lead to a massive crisis in our healthcare system. But what is the problem with documentation in Germany? The systems are outdated and neither digitalized nor automated. Here you can see the surface of a current used hospital information system in Germany. And you see that you see nothing. You don't see why the patient is here, what treatment he or she is receiving right now, and what is planned to do today. And in the end of the inpatient hospital stay, a doctor's letter has to be written in Word based on information that you have to search for in those handwritten patient files. This novel costs me about 45 minutes per patient. And this massive paperwork will find its way to every doctor, but does it have to be so time-consuming, so inefficient, and so frustrating? The answer is no. With MyScribe, we solved this problem in a unique way from this to this. The surface is clear, and you can see all important patient information like diagnosis or treatment or to-dos at a glance, and you can add progress notes on mobile devices. The best thing, in the end, with only the click of a button, a doctor's letter is generated automatically from those progress notes with the help of AI. This means that instead of 45 minutes, it only takes 5 seconds to create a doctor's letter. We're talking about several hours per day saved, during which doctors can devote themselves to their actual profession again and have time for patients. Early adopters, like Professor Dr. Med Claudia Scherl, the Deputy Clinic Director of the Ear, Nose and Throat Clinic in Mannheim, say, "We are looking forward to the presented web application and are confident to find our wishes integrated." Our business model here is very easy. We sell the software as a service. Our customers are the hospitals and the users are the doctors, and a continuous feedback loop ensures the optimal satisfaction of all parties involved. Now comes the point at which you will surely ask yourself, did no one think about this before you? And indeed, next to the big hospital information systems like Oracle Cerner, Nexus AG, CGM, Telekom, and Daedalus, who are outdated and user-unfriendly, there are some modern solutions like Avelios Medical and Kumi Health. But they did not focus on documentation, and so cannot improve the work for doctors the way MyScribe does. So currently no provider can compete with our 3 USPs: the availability on mobile devices, the fully automated doctor's letter generation, and the AI-supported flow text generation. I'm talking about us all the time, but who are we? I'm Ira Stoll, CEO and co-founder of MyScribe, and I'm plain and simple the doctor. Lars Stoll is our CTO and also co-founder. He's the software engineer who created the whole MyScribe app. Currently, we are Exist funded, and we just won the Founders Prize of Mannheim 2023. As partners, we were able to convince Roche and Siemens Healthineers for our idea, and 2 test phases with validations will start this spring at the University Clinic of Heidelberg and Mannheim. So we are ready to scale now, and we're looking forward to offering our pilot customers, that you can see here, the first app for doctors that is fully automated and generates doctor's letters with the help of AI for maximum time saving, quality assurance, and a better patient care. For this, we are currently looking for investment, and we would be happy to present our business and financial plan in detail to you after the pitches. So please do not hesitate to contact us. But now, thank you very much for your attention, and let the questions begin.
Dear jury, please ask your questions.
Thank you very much for this good idea. The question is how much knowledge is required to do this link between the input and then writing the letters. So is this by now focused on a special field, or is this general and can be used for all subjects in medicine?
So we learned the AI with the PubMed library, so that's for everyone usable, for every specialty in medicine. But we also use prompts for maybe the urologists need other prompts than dermatologists. So we need a special employment for every user. But there's also a solution that can be used right now for everyone.
Thank you. I would be interested in getting to know, like, what are the biggest concerns that your clients have when adopting your technology?
The biggest concerns, it's always data privacy, I think. They all ask about the data privacy. And then we can say we don't have our own server. We just use the hospital server, and we just work with the data and put them back to the hospital server. So the data, there's no way that the data can be put from outside. We work with the intranet. And so this could be a big problem for the hospitals, but we go around this problem in this way.
Okay, and do they see any challenges in adopting your software?
Challenges like competitors?
More like, hierarchy and kind of getting it like, in general in their system?
I think the biggest challenge is the technique. The technique has to be modern in the hospitals. But because of the Krankenhauszukunftsgesetz that takes place in 2023, the hospitals should make their whole structures modern. And they get a lot of money, 4.6 billion for this. And they are currently about to do it. And some hospitals like Mannheim and Heidelberg do it together with us because we can test the new implementations.
What is the major difference to robotic process automation, RPA, which is doing almost the same, what you presented?
They do not generate doctor's letters. The process automation is also important for, most of all, for the patient, for the appointments. But the process automation does not make doctor's letters. And the work I explained that doctors have to do and write something together in Word out of those handwritten files, that's the most time they waste their day.
did your tool pass the Turing test? So if you give an automated generated letter to a patient and a human written paper to the patient, does this patient distinguish between the two letters?
There will not be this problem because the doctor has to read the paper in the end and has to sign it in the end.
Make it human-like, okay.
And we learn from this. If they change something, the system learns.
Thank you so much, Team MyScribe. And now we are already coming to the last team of today's evening. And the next team, is building palaces. Not from the outside, but from the inside, by giving individualized recommendations for your interior design. Team Palace.
So, dear jury, dear audience, Palace is an online personal interior coach. Meet Lisa. Lisa is moving to her new home with a partner in only 3 months. She's so excited. Her home will be the target of well-being for her family. So she starts her journey. She would look at Pinterest for inspirations, but she can't buy any products there. So she would look at 100 different online shops just to find that anything quite looks the same. Finally, she thinks she needs an interior designer, but this lady costs €1,500. She's exhausted. She neither has the time nor the money to continue this journey. And worse off, she fears the weekend before they drive to the Swedish furniture house again. So where did Lisa go wrong? If Lisa would have come to Palace, anything could have been different. We are her guide to find true home well-being. You see, I'm talking about well-being so much because if it's not about the product or the inspiration, anything that counts is how well we feel in our homes. So at Palace, we close that gap by helping Lisa to reflect what is truly important in her home. And therefore, we teamed up with the world's #1 interior psychologist, Uwe Linke, to send Lisa onto a journey to her best home. And why Alexandra and me have teamed up with him? Because I spent the last decade in strategy consulting in the architectural and building industry, and Alexandra is an expert in recommender systems. Let's take a look at Lisa's journey at Palace. So at first, Lisa takes an AI-based interior personality assessment. Through text and image questions, we understand her conscious but also her subconscious preferences and learn about her motivational types and her living preferences. Finally, she receives a resume about her preferences and some learning factors for her well-being. Finally, we will provide her with some personalized recommendations. And we will not only do that for Lisa, but also for her partner, Ben. And finally, we find that they definitely need a harmonized color scheme, which we recommend them, a personal space for Lisa to calm down, some long-lasting furniture from Ben, and beautiful, colorful accessories from Lisa. And finally, out of 3 million products and 200 stores, we find the right product for them. Fast, uncomplicated, and currently, it's still free of charge. So they're happy. They finally find what they were looking for. But so did many other interior personalities. You ask yourself, what's the magic behind Palace? Palace and the magic is artificial intelligence. Our algorithm works as a mixture of an interior designer who has really good style, a living psychologist who takes care of your well-being, a product hunter who always knows the latest products, and your living partners. But the decision, and this is really important, always lies within you. And here we are looking at a lot of different data points our AI learns from, and we are matching those with the respective customer and our expert insights from Uwe. Finally, we can also identify your current living preferences where you live and make suitable recommendations to augment that interior. So that's really sustainable. So it's such a great timing now to digitalize Uwe's knowledge 30 years with the help of artificial intelligence. And we are positioned in a highly attractive market. Furniture is one of the fastest growing industries in online retail, as consumers have become more inclined towards online buying. We are generating our revenues through different streams. We have a B2C educational platform where we charge a premium fee for some of our features, a B2B academy with a training fee, and an affiliate fee once the customer buys something. In the last 4 weeks, we realized our MVP, and we already have 600 user registrations without doing a lot of marketing. So we are positioned in a highly attractive market with Palace. We have first users who love it. Our business model is based on AI, and we are ready now to receive your questions.
And now we are opening the last round of questions.
Last but not least, right? So you briefly touched upon your business models, and there were several revenue streams, and it seemed like it was a mix of B2B and B2C. Why is that? Mm-hmm. Because I would generally challenge that.
Yes, it's a really good point. So the training academy actually, or let's say put it all together. Why are we doing 3 different revenue streams? Because we want to diversify so that we are not so dependent on the current economic situation. Because in recession, we know that people buy fewer furniture, right? So we're also providing them second-hand furniture, etc. But through the training academy, actually we learn more and more to be implemented into our algorithm, and it's mainly because of the data points that we needed. But our major revenue stream is currently the affiliate fee and the educational platform if people just want to learn more, but they don't actually need products, new products. So we just recommend them, existing products, but you can rearrange them in your home.
The academy, you said you generate data from the academy. To me, it seems like your partner wants to offer his service, which is fair, I guess. It caters a completely different audience, I would say. It's maybe potential experts or interior designers, or am I getting this wrong?
Yeah, let me explain to you. So I would challenge that, because why is that? So if you go today to a furniture house, they will do product selling. They're highly incentivized to sell you a certain product, but it's not necessarily the right product for you. So what we tell them is to do solution sales. So we're using our knowledge to help those stationary clients to improve the way they sell. And with that knowledge, we can also, of course, improve our AI-based personality assessment. But good question, definitely.
Which other ways do you see to learn the preferences of the users? So maybe to use social media to derive certain preferences, which then yield in a second step to a proposal for living room.
Yes, so that's definitely possible. For some customers, we ask to share their Pinterest profile, and we can rate pin boards. That's quite easy, so we know people's preferences from that, for example. That's also possible with Instagram. It's even possible with a few pictures, theoretically, without the customer taking the quiz, to take hypotheses about their type. And this is, we know already this from a lot of different research areas, really easily possible. That's right. Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering how many living room types have you detected?
Living room types. So we are going about deeper as others. So we're not talking about style, but this is more living preference, how we feel comfortable. It's one level deeper on the iceberg. So we have those 5 generalist types, but then on the algorithm, of course, each and individual, we learn from their continuous journey. So we have that design Tinder, or we learn through your interactions, or what you share with us. So this is how it becomes more narrowed down, yeah. But what's really interesting, already from your profile pictures, for example, I can see in the backgrounds how your companies are positioning furniture or colors. We can already also draw hypotheses about styles there. And also for fashion, that's our current hypothesis, quite interesting, that we can also do that for fashion. Mm-hmm.
How do you prevent, when you make this recommendation, that the customer will use it, but look then in other sources for this kind of furniture or something like this?
Yes, very good question. So what we are continuously doing is we are sending you curated newsletters where we can, give you some recommendations about your style, so you come back to our platform. And also, we are saving your test results, so you can always use them. Also, if you go to a stationery shop, you can look up, like, what's your type, what kind of colors do you like, what's the mood board that you created with us. So this is how we get people coming back to our page.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Team Palace, big applause, please. Wow, we're almost done. We've seen 10 amazing pitches, in my opinion, and now the hard time has come for you, for the jury to decide. Thomas will take you backstage, where you have a few more minutes to discuss about the teams. And yeah, dear teams, for you, it's time to relax, to sit back, to enjoy the evening now. You've done an amazing job, so big applause again for all the teams on stage. And while the jury is deciding, I quickly wanted to use the time for a short outlook to our next program, the AI Rise program, which will start end of April. This is not waiting only for our winner, because he will get a wildcard. It's also open for every AI startup that wants to scale. So what we do here, we build a program that's combining individual training in certain areas with direct access to investors and customers. We will start with a kickoff where we will assess all the startups and build a clear roadmap along the program. Then we will dive deeper into operations and strategy, where we will talk about the operational excellence, so how to build a robust company for scale. And also strategy, if you want to go for profitability or growth, and how to build a financial plan behind that. The second part will be customers. Our experts will help in one-on-one trainings in the sales funnel, how to speed up the sales cycles, how to make it more efficient. And we will also help you to do the exact perfect customer pitch for you, that you can really close the deals. Additionally, we will offer customer speed datings, where all the startups will be matched with the right and the correct customers from the industry, and have the possibility to talk about the business and hopefully to make the next sales. And then we have the big topic, investors. We will train you in the investor pitch, although all of these startups had already good pitch, in my opinion. And we will also help you to understand better the investor marketing, to be findable for an investor, to get engaged with an investor along the road. And also here, we will offer, again, speed datings with investors that match not only your funding size, what you're searching for, but also your industry. There will be one additional deep dive week where the startups can tell us what they want to learn. So we are reaching out for every individual startup to get the right trainer, the right training suitable to tackle their problems and roadblocks. And at the end, there will be the finish line. You've already seen the demo day today. It will be kind of similar, but also kind of different. That's what we can promise. And yeah, in total, we have round about 9 weeks. So who's eligible for this program? As in the Netzwerk-Accelerator, it's open to every AI startup who is founded in Baden-Württemberg, or for founders who have the permanent residence in Baden-Württemberg. There should be at least minimum one deep-level AI founder and business founder, and AI should be the core of your company. So it's not just enough to think about AI in the future or use it for a certain tool that you use. What will be different from the Netzwerk-Accelerator is the stage of the startups. AI Rise program is open for startups that are already generating sales, who already have the first customer or first customers, and also have a clearly visible, internationally scalable business model. If you are interested there, you can find more information on our website, or you can also write us an email. And also, of course, you can find us on LinkedIn or Twitter, where we'll also make a recap about this evening. And now, enough about the outlook And what will happen in the future? We are still here today. We are still celebrating these teams. But there are some more people who we should celebrate today, because we just created a program, but we were not the ones who filled it. It were people who helped us to really dedicate time, also voluntarily, to support each and every startup individually. And that's why I want to address our startup coaches and want to send out a big, big thank you to you. Because from day one until this day, you were not only there for the startups on a professional level, but also emotionally. It was a roller coaster ride for most. It never only went up, also not only down, that's what we've seen, but it was a big roller coaster. And that's why I want to say a big thank you once more to Caroline, Jan, Eliška, Paul, Alexander, Marcel, Eduard, Nikolai, Julia, Alina, Benjamin, and Florian, who dedicated their voluntary time. So big applause for that. And not all of them could make it to be here today. So everybody who is joining online, big thank you, in this way. But I've also seen a lot of faces here sitting in the room, on-site in Stuttgart, and I just wanted to ask you to come on stage, to get your own applause, and to also get a small goodie bag, what we prepared for you, and everybody who is just online will get it after the show ends. So please come on stage. Alles gut?
Ja.
Super. So, hi. So now I think my colleagues will come with some gifts. Okay. These are big gifts, that's why it takes a little bit. Don't worry. It's not going to be old timers, unfortunately. Yeah, we couldn't afford. So, but yes, my dear colleagues. So we have first of all Paul Becker. Thank you so much. Then we have Nikolai. Woo! Woo! We have Jan. Woo! Eduard. Woo! Woo! Caroline. Woo! And finally, Alina. Not finally, Alina. And Benjamin. Thank you so much again for all of your help. I think also to all the startup teams. It's not only me who should thank, I think you also did it and will do it, Thank you so much. Thank you. So, and now the jury is not finished. It were 10 teams, so it will take a little bit of time. We will make a short break for around 15 to 20 minutes, and then we will continue and we'll, talk about the winners. See you soon. Danke. Okay. So, everybody who's here on site in Stuttgart might slowly get back to their places. The decision is done. Grab the snack or your drink and come back slowly. Because now it's time for the winners. So we might need 1 more minute until everybody is back at his seat. Okay. So let's do a countdown maybe, then everybody should be back. A 10, a 9, a 8, a 7, a 6, a 5, a 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. Okay, so we had a short break, which was maybe the most important one for today. And the jury decided about the 3 winning teams. And let me tell you, it was not an easy decision. There was a lot of discussion going on backstage. But now, but now finally the winners are on my cards. So I hope I use them correctly. So we are talking again about 3 winners, where the third place will win 500 euros, the second 1,000 euros, and the first one 2,000 euros, and a wild card for our AI Rise program. And now, let's start a drum roll. Grrr. Our third place goes to Team Semanux. Please come on stage.
Thank you.
That's good. Yeah. So here's your certificate. And we make a picture, maybe, yeah. Also the jury, if you want to, please. Paul, come. Perfect. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much. Well done. So now we come to the second place and the second winner of today's evening. And yeah, I just introduced them as the youngest team what we have, Team Myvi. Big applause. Well done. Yeah, maybe a picture once more. We get active now. Alina bleibt hier, ja. Super. Ja. Ach so. Das ist euers. Ja. Thank you so much. Well done. Yeah, so Shiri, you can stay here if you want to. You can all sit down, no problem. So now, last but not least, we are coming to the winner. So now there are 8 teams left. Who will win? Any guesses? No guesses? Okay. So, did I write it somewhere? Oh, okay. Here it is. Okay. The winner of this year's Network Accelerator is Team Selecor. Big applause. Voilà. Guter Job, ja. Geiler Job. Geiler Job. So, ja.
Glückwunsch. Gut gemacht. Wo ist die Kamera?
One more picture? Yeah. And we know that? Yeah. Okay, let's. This is yours. This is yours.
Super, Glückwunsch.
So, super, guter Job.
Super, sehr spannend, was ihr macht.
And now what I would love to do is to make one last big picture, because we had it many times today. This was not just 1, 2, or 3 startups. It was a complete ecosystem working together. So I would love to ask all the coaches, the mentors, the jury, once more, the startups, everybody who is here to get on stage once and to make one big group picture. And the Baden-Württemberg Stiftung as well, please. Ja, ja. So, jetzt. So. Ha? Muss ich auch? Ja klar, du musst.
Das war mit Ansage.
Das war du hast gesagt, du hast
Ich hab's
gesagt, okay.
Mensch, siehst du wieder gut aus heute. Ja, schon, gell? Erste Reihe.
Okay, mach mal hier. Geh mal hier rein. So. Ja. Komm.
Okay, oder hinten dran verstecken ist auch okay. Ich gehe schon oben auf die Treppe, also nicht wegrennen.
Okay. Genau. Thank you so much. Okay. One last information to the startups and the jury. You will also get a small goodie bag, where you will get it at Yuxing's place here at the entrance. And to everyone else, I want to say one last time a big thank you to everybody who was involved here, to the Baden-Württemberg Stiftung who made it all possible, to the location here that was so kind to host us, the jury, the coaches and the mentors, and all the guests who also participated here on site, but also followed us until the end online. Thank you so much, and a big applause again, or a big thank you, no applause this time, to the startups. We hope to see you soon, at the next event, and herewith we are closing the online stream, and whoever is here, we will enjoy the evening and the night together. See you soon. Bye. So. Gut. Gut.
Buffet nicht eröffnet.
The buffet is open. So.